How much important do you think about critical thinking in your life, and what will you do if your mind is full of assumption, beliefs, or even confusion? I believe, or I think, in order to avoid the bias and unwise decision, it is better to think critically rather than you assume everything that goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am imansetiahrf. I'm going to present my undergraduate thesis proposal in the title "The Impact of Asian Parliament our students critical thinking, a method research at SMA Negeri Seniwan Jakarta." Okay, next. As we know, 21st century for skills is the main target of all aspects in the world, and one of the aspect is in education. So, yeah, according to the research, 21st century for skills are encourage students or to educate students to complete globally. And also, according to National Association, Education Association, 80% involving the 21st century will equip the students and also prepare the students to enter the industry. So as you can see here, 21st century for skills is in terms of creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. And as we know, one of the target of the 21st century for skills is one of them is that critical thinking. Why? Because next, according to National Association of College and Employees, critical thinking is the most important traits to be assessed when compared to other skills. You can see here, critical thinking is the most higher rather than any skills. Yeah. Uh, when we compare to importance weight average rating, so it means 98.5% rather than any skills, and also to proficiency level to 55.8%. So that's why I choose the critical thinking is the main target of my research. And considering how critical thinking will play an important role in students' futures, I'm using Asian parliamentary debate as a media or as a technique to to boost students or to encourage students to argument critically. They do the brainstorming and responding to argument by asking questions or giving an opinion, and also to think independently. Okay. Yeah, English debate also provide a chance to students to speak actively because they need to construct their argument in order to defend their ideas, find any solution, and think critically also. Okay, next about the problem statement. Here, this is the topic of my research. Numerous research and teacher attempting to utilize the debate in classroom. But the research problem of my study is student need transformation of the knowledge. It's not just about they just accept the material, but they need to transform their knowledge. That's about critical thinking. In literature review, I will explain more. And the justification, as documented and past literature also, they have they say that still need to improve or to construct the knowledge of the students. And this is the deficiencies in the evidence or the gap of my research. It is still there for research to engage the critical thinking. They just do the speaking skills. So that's why I'm using critical thinking. And then FUA 2016 and 17 recommended to the topic areas such as in senior high school, and that's why I choose SMA 71. And also, I'm using a mixed method to qualitative to emphasize the result of quantitative. That's why I'm using the mixed method. And of course, the audience of my research is SMA Negeri One and will be beneficial for English teacher, researchers, and also the students. Alright, I did my small research. As you can see here, this is Harzing published and this is POS keywords based on library, UKIS library. As you can see here, I'm using Harzing publish. So as my research, there are just 8 research on Google Scholar. to the scholar that do this research. So it's still rare. And most of them is that to improve speaking English. And also this is the VOS viewers is still rare for critical thinking. But I forget to, I didn't put in my paper, so I forgot to make this one to my research, in the end of my research paper. So this is the research question. How is the student's critical thinking before and after taught by using ABD? And does the Asian parliamentary debate technique in classroom can improve students' critical thinking? And the next, the objective of my research, is attempt to investigate the effect of Asian parliamentary debate implementation on students' critical thinking skills and to find out students' critical thinking before and after being taught using ABD. And this is the research significance for English teacher, school and students because I'm also teach or as a mentor of English club in SMA Negeri 71. So this is will be beneficial from two English club to the 71. And this is for also for future researcher who doesn't conduct a mixed club. And this is the research scope just for technique Asian parliamentary debate on students as SMA Negeri 71. Okay, we move to the literature review. So this is previously related researcher. Yeah, just go on. Okay, next. Yeah, according to Namhoi 2020, just make it fast. Right, 2020. They study, he said that when using Asian parliamentary debate or debaters in classroom will advance the fifth level of critical thinking of the students. And next, Sham 2015 said that, he suggested English debate as a technique in learning process. And also, another research doing the same things, but in a different result. Next. Okay, for more information, you can see here. Okay, the fundamental of critical thinking. So, critical thinking was started by a philosopher named Socrates, who is known as the Socrates theory. And this is Socrates questioning. And that's why a question-oriented approach, as we thought right now. You know, Socrates at the moment was asking his students about a lot of questions, and answering from his students just make it into the question of the Socrates. So when we talk about critical thinking, we just talk about a question-oriented approach after you got what you asked. That's Socrates theory. Socratic theory. And this is the critical thinking right now, disposition inventory by Greg Hanna 2021. So critical thinking components about truth seeking, open-mindedness, analyticity, systematicity, city self-confidence, inclusiveness, and cognitive maturity. And this is the instrument that I use, or the rubrics of critical thinking that I will use later on. Yeah, as you can see here, truth seeking, talking about attempting to discover the fact, and so on. And the total score is 63. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the fundamental of debate. As we know, the debate as a solving problem. We talk about the topic that we'll discuss both of the group, such as opposition and also the government. I'll tell you later on. So we can conclude that debate is the main, or is the method, or is the media to talk or to find out the solution of the problems. And that's why I'm using Asian parliamentary debate. Okay, this is Asian parliamentary debate components. As you can see here, this is the government who accept the motion or who accept the topic. But this is the opposition who reject the topic or who didn't agree with the motion. And this is the speakers, and this is the judges. And this is where the components that will be, I think, demanded later on. Okay, this is my hypothesis and conceptual framework. Because I'm using mixed method, I will uh, I add the interview group, and by two experiment group by using action parameter debate. After that, I'm using interview. And also, this is my methodology research design. I will conduct a mixed method design in terms of qualitative and quantitative result. Quantitative result will be going to quasi experimental research. After I collect the quantitative result, I will follow up by qualitative research or method. And the population here to 287 and sample is 72. And the research instrument that I used in to measure the students' critical thinking is going to, I'm using cognitive interview. Why? In order to avoid the bias, because when we are making a cognitive interview to the students, we eliminate the bias. We can get the students' opinion and logical opportunities to the students. And also, we try to teach the student to make a decision. Yeah. And this is mechanism of data collecting. This is the pretest. This is the blueprint of my actions and treatment. And this is the post-test. And then this is the technique of the data analysis. First, normality test and homogeneity test, and the hypothesis test. All of them will be measured by SPS S25 by analyze descriptive, pragmatic, statistic, and interpretive cognitive. I'm sorry, interpretive cognitive doesn't. Oh yeah, interpretive cognitive when I'm using instrument, and then requirements analysis test, and yeah, all of them will be collected or will be measured by this one. And I'm using the interview qualitative to to measure the qualitative, or in order to emphasize my quantitative data results, I'm using qualitative by cognitive interview. That's why, well, from the result of this one, that will be a mixed method, and I will be give an interpretation after giving a quantitative data, follow up with qualitative data. It will be interpretation of my research. That's a transformative design. And this is the research procedure until I'm formulating the problems, research, determining population and sample, decision instruments, and asking permission, and carrying out the research, and calculating two variables, and tabulating result, and reporting the test. And you can also see my instrument of all of that in the appendix. Yeah, this is the just for plagiarism. And thank you.